I was walking along, and it was right there on the left-hand side, and they had the pipes running across, and the hose was coming down right in the submarine. There was two guys there waving, and I just, hey, and I just walked on by, and I got into the aid station, and I walked in the aid station. I said, "Do you know what I just saw?" And I was talking to a girl. I said, "I just saw two Russians filling up a submarine. Can you believe that?" And she looked at me and she says, "You know, you need to stop. You need to take a break." And I just said, "Yeah, maybe I do." So I just I just dropped right there on the ground about 10 feet from her, and I laid right down for 15 minutes and got back up and took off again. But
Running with Maverick and Wolfman. Hey guys, we got a special guest tonight. Wolfman's going to introduce. Here we go.
Our guest tonight has completed many events. Among them are Boston, New York, Big Sur, Pikes Peak, Heiner Trail Challenge, multiple ultra events. He walked across Pennsylvania and Connecticut. He's done what everybody dreams of doing for their 40th birthday. He walked 40 miles. Please welcome Gary.
Hi there.
hey, there you go. Hey, how you doing there, Maverick and Wolfman?
Very good.
Fantastic.
Great to be here.
Good.
Welcome.
Excited to have you. Yeah, welcome.
Yeah.
Now, Wolfman just told me a bunch of stuff that I didn't know about you, that you walked 40 miles on your 40th birthday.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I don't know how many it was. I'm 69. I was born in 55, so whatever that is.
Yep, 95.
Is that 29 years or 30? I don't know. Anyway,
so Wolfman mentioned a lot of things. Wolfman, do you have a question to start with?
I do, but I didn't know if you wanted to start or me wanted to start.
No, I'll let you go first.
I guess my biggest one is, how did it all start? What started the running?
Yeah, that's a pretty good question. Yeah. I'll make it sound better than it is. You know, it was pretty hot the one day, and I couldn't mow the lawn, but I think I might start running. So I went out and I ran down the road, probably about a mile and a half, turned around, and came back. And that seemed okay. And then they had a race coming up, the Rocket Carrier Run, which was at the end of May. And I thought, it's right around 7 miles long. And I think I'm going to run for that. So I went down to the track the next weekend, and I decided to run 24 laps around the track, see if I could do 6 miles. And I could. I had trouble walking after that, but I could. So I said, well, I'm going to enter the race. So I entered the race. I did that race, and when I got down that race, it was pretty funny. I finished pretty far back in the pack, and I sat down on the curb, and I don't know. All of a sudden, I tried to stand up, and I couldn't stand up. Oh, my legs were killing me, and it was so funny. I just thought, it can't get any better than this. You know what I mean? So from then on, I went to the next race, which is Montrose, and then actually just went on from there, and that's kind of how it started on a hot summer day. Yeah.
24 laps on the track, that's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, and then from then, I just went from 5Ks to 10Ks, and of course, half marathons, then the marathons, and then I did quite a few of them. Uh, quite a few of them, a lot of them. Big Sur, Pikes Peak, Mount Desert Island. Uh, I don't know. Then I qualified for Boston a number of times and got to go there and run 7 times. One of the neatest ones was after COVID, we got to the start, and they had it in October instead of April. And what they had was they had a rolling start, which was kind of weird because you got off the buses and you got into the park where everybody, they just kind of take their drinks and go to the bathroom, different things like that. And they kind of gave you like say, be at the start between 11:45 and 12 o'clock, 12 noon. So I just kind of went up there, and instead of seeing 40,000 people or whatever, anyway, there was 3 people up there waiting to take the start. And what it was, you just started on your own. You started the line. Your chip started, ticking, and you just ran. And it was just a wild race. Just wasn't the same as being, in a pack of 1,000 people with, 30 gauge. You know what I mean? It was different. It was pretty cool. So that was a wild
I was gonna ask you if that was better or worse.
Actually, I liked it better with the people, just because it's nice being around the people, and you can hear a lot of different things and see a lot of different sights, and I don't know. I think I just like all the people being around me. It's just something to look at.
Yeah, if I'm gonna run a marathon, I want to commiserate with everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I've done Steamtown a number of times, and that's generally where I qualify for Boston. And sometimes I like Hudson Mohawk. They have one up there. I've done that. Mount Desert Island, which is a beautiful one. I don't know. I've done quite a few of them, and so after the marathons, then I started going longer than that with the 50-mile JFK 50. That went pretty good. That was interesting. And then after that, I started doing the hundreds, and that just kind of took off for a while. Did about 7 of them. A couple of them. After that, I had trouble finishing the last couple, but I wasn't ready for the one. I'm a little disappointed in that. I got to mile 93, the last aid station, and they had a 6-mile detour that you had to go up and around. So I wasn't really at 91. I was really like at 97, but I just didn't have anybody to cling on to make the last 3 miles or the last 9 miles. So that was kind of tough. That was a little disappointing, but I tried. I just your head gets in there, and all of a sudden you think you can't do it, and you give up, and it's tough to fight with your head sometimes, So, but but I don't know. And then from there, actually, I started doing timed races, and I did a number of hundreds, and then I wanted to do longer than 100. And I thought, well, where am I going to find something that's 150 miles long? So I looked on the website, and I found this race down in New Jersey called 3 Days at the Fair, and they had a 48-hour race. And my fastest 100-miler was at the Strucker Viaduct, and I ran that in 23:40, somewhere around there, 23:40. So I broke 24 hours in the 100, which is actually bigger. It's a bigger deal than qualifying for Boston. It's pretty cool. So anyway, but you only got to do it once. That way you can say, hey, yeah, I did that. I broke 100. I broke 24 hours. So anyway, I thought 48 hours. I thought, well, I can do 150 miles. So my friend Bob Lance, my dear friend Bob Lance, we went down to Sussex County Fairgrounds in New Jersey, and they had a 1-mile loop with like 9 turns in it. And we went down to check the course out, and we decided to do it. So I thought, well, I got to run at least 75 the first night, the first 24 hours. So anyway, that's kind of what I did. And then the second day I ran 75. So I finished with 150, just a tad over 150 miles for 48 hours. So
Wow.
that was pretty cool. And then I said, there's got to be more than that. So the next year they had this 72-hour race, which is 3 days, around that same mile loop. And I thought, yeah, well I can do 200, you know. So I went down and I said to myself, I'm going to do 67, 67, 67. And a lot of people, they try to get like an 80 miler and then they'll come back with a shorter distance on the second day. The second day seems to be the toughest. I did. I walked the first 12 hours. Then after that, I started running and walking. And first day was 67. Second day was 67. Third day was 67. So I ran a 2:01, and I ended up getting third overall in that race, which was good.
Wow.
So after that, well, that went on for a couple of years. But then after that, they started a 6-day race. I thought, well, I could do 6 days. How tough can that be, you know? So started doing that, and I think I've run six 6-day races down there, and my best is 350 miles, and that was pretty cool. And then after that, I know it just keeps going on, doesn't it? But anyway, after that, they had a 10-day race for the 10-year anniversary, and I thought, hey, that sounds pretty cool, you know? So so I entered that, and I ended up covering 529 miles on that, and that worked out pretty good. I was happy with that. That was good. So so now they're going to have a longer race yet coming next year, 2025. So I don't know if it's going to go. He's talking about 1,000-mile race or whatever, but maybe I'll make it 1,000K. That'd be a lot easier. You know what I mean? 620. That'd be cool. You know. So I don't know, but and then I got into this other race called the Last Ball State, which was that's 314 miles, and you get on a ferry boat. You're in Tennessee, and they put you on a ferry boat to Missouri, and they start the race over there. Laz is his name, Gary Cantrell, Lazarus Lake. He's known for the Barkley Marathons, for Strolling Jim. He's Backyard Ultras. Like he's got so many different races out there, and so I entered that, and we started in Missouri. Got back on the ferry boat, got into Tennessee, and we ran 314 miles into Tennessee, and that was pretty cool. They give you 10 days, and you can do a crewed or screwed. I did a screwed, which was no crew. You couldn't take any help. You couldn't take any help that you knew of. In other words, if Wolfman came down and says, "Hey, I want to give you some water. I want to get you a hot dog," I couldn't take that. But if somebody came down I didn't know, or somebody was there that offered me something that I didn't know, I could take it. You know what I mean? So that was pretty cool. There was a lot of, I don't know, it's pretty neat. And ended up taking me 8 days, 16 hours, 24 minutes, and 16 seconds. So that went good. I was good. Yeah. But, and it's weird because you're thinking, man, I'll never do that again, when you get done. And it's like, yeah, I'm ready to go back, It's like, it's pretty cool. Cool beans, man. Yeah.
I have a feeling this is like talking to Wolfman in the future.
There's so many things out there that are out there that are so cool. It's neat to be a part of it. It's just it's been out there.
I want to put in perspective for a second. 1,000 miles is like running down to Florida from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Just a
mile. That's what he wants to have, 1,000 miles. Here's the kicker though. He's going to give it like 21, 22 days. Okay. But he's got that much time to take off. Okay. And the price of the race is very expensive. You know what I mean? For a 6-day race, it's $600.
Okay.
For a 10-day race, it's going to be $1,000.
$1,000, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus
so
all the. Where do you stay at when you go to these races? Like,
Oh, the race. Well, the race down there is a 1 mile loop, and it's got 8 turns to it or 9 turns. And we take a camper down. My friend Bob Lanton and I take a camper down, and we stay right on the course. And on that course, they have the aid station is actually a concession stand for the fairgrounds. So you go right through that aid station every mile, and you can just say, "Hey, I want a cheeseburger, lettuce, and tomato on it," and they'll say, "All right, I'll see you in 15 minutes," and you just come right back, and there it is. I mean, they got all kinds of food, vegan food. They got everything. You know, pizza. They got I don't know. They have a lot of
do you have to
broth.
pay for the food?
No, that one fee you pay, like the $600, that's all
Yeah,
included. And the
that's great.
bathrooms are the best, man. They're all lit up, they're heated. I mean, it's like you never gotta wait. I mean, it's the ideal venue, man. It's
Better than a
great.
sandals.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So, wow, yeah. So it's pretty cool.
Man, that's pretty wild.
Yeah. So
But yeah,
yeah,
21 days, that'd be wild.
Yeah.
it would. Yeah, you know, it makes you think, doesn't it? You know. So you tell me I got a chance, huh? You know,
Go
I
for the
don't.
W.
Yeah, the long runs are really cool. On a 1 mile loop, I mean, there's always somebody out there. I mean, you might get 100 people there. You know what I mean? You might get 40 people for the 10 or for the 6 day race. You might get, I don't know, 60 people for the 3 day race. You might get, 25 people for the 48 and 50 for the 24 hour. I mean, there's always people out there, so it's it's comfortable. It's like, if you're in a quit zone where you want to just say, man, I'm tired, I'm out of here. You just kind of cling on to somebody, and they get you through another lap. So
Yeah, it's pretty wild. One
yeah,
mile loop, man.
yeah. It's pretty neat, man. I know. It's not boring at all. It,
It
it
doesn't sound
isn't.
it.
It isn't. And I've been around it. I need 321 miles to make 4,000 miles down there.
Wow.
So that'd be pretty cool. I'm hoping to get that this year, and that'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool.
So
So
4,000 miles would put you across the U.S. and then on your way back.
yeah, yeah,
For
yeah.
perspective,
Just on that 1 mile loop, man.
I think we've got some listeners that have less miles in their cars.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Yeah, it's
Pretty
been.
wild.
Yeah, I started. Yeah, I think I started in 1981. So I do have a lot of miles on me. From
What's your weekly mileage like? Like, what do you train?
Oh man, this is tough. This is tough. Yeah. Well, you know what? Not many, not many. I got
Yeah,
miles in the bank, and then I kind of know what I can do, you know.
right.
So, and that's kind of how it works. Right now, I've been walking mostly, get ready for this race.
Yeah,
I got, I don't know, I probably have, I think I had a 14, I had a 12, I had 7, I had a 5 so far this week, so, but the thing is with the walking, and I don't know how this would work out. Say you were going to do 18 miles, you were going to run 18 miles, and you were going to do it in 3 hours, okay?
okay.
Which, yeah, I'm sure you can. But anyway, for me, 18 miles is 6 hours of walking, you know? So where do you find 6 hours in your day to walk 18 miles? You know what I mean? Now you can do a long run on Saturday or Sunday, but to take 6 hours to do 18, and you want to do more because that's not enough, but it's hard to find that much time in your situation. For me, it's a little bit easier because I don't do nothing, but you know, I got all. But so anyway, I don't know. I don't know, how it works out with me being on my feet 6 hours versus you being on your feet 3 hours. You know, who gets more benefit out of it? I don't know. I think with walking on your feet, I could come back the next day and do the 18 and the 18 again and the 18 again. I don't know if you could. You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
I don't know how that works, you know. Just I don't know why I threw that out there. I guess I just felt like
Well, I mean,
saying it.
you have the physical, but then you have the mental too. You have the
Right.
mental toughness to get through with that race.
Yeah, yeah, uh, yeah. Once in a while, I listen to music at night. You know, if I want to put some time in, some fast miles in, you could, the way it's laid out. There's certain areas on this course where you'll run, and there's certain areas where you'll walk, and even the best, they'll walk those slight grades, because in a matter of, you know, okay, so I'm out there 18, 20 hours, 16, let's say 16 to 20 hours a day on that 1 mile loop, get my time and miles in. Um, I'm not down much, but it's walking, and sometimes it's harder to walk all that time than it is to actually run. So you want to break into a run just so you're not
Right.
hurting, you know. So, but I
I
don't
I
know.
think most of my college career I had trouble walking anywhere.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and you know what's weird is they tell you, you know, you get in these races, in these long races, even the hundreds, you know, and they'll say, you know, you got to learn to walk, because that's what's going to happen. You know, you eventually you're going to walk. I ended up, I was working where I worked before, where I worked, and I was telling a guy I was going to do a 100-miler, and he says, oh yeah, that's not a problem. And he says, I'll tell you what you do, and you probably know him there, Wolfman, John Hayes. So anyway, um, he says, I want you to go out and do a 20-miler. And then following week, I want you to go out and I want you to run for 10 minutes and walk 5 minutes. Run for 10 minutes, walk 5 minutes, and do a 20-miler. And tell me how much difference it is. And it wasn't a half an hour. Like it wasn't as much as you thought it would be. And the recovery time was like unbelievable. You got done walking and running and you weren't all beat up. You run 20 miles and you can feel it, you know?
Right.
So I started running my races, my 50 miles, my 100 miles, and that's kind of how I ended up doing that 24 hour under 24 hours was I struck a viaduct. I started walking 5 minutes and I ran 10, walked 5, ran 10, and my splits were pretty much dead. They were pretty close. I almost said dead nuts. Sorry about that. Pretty close pretty close for each split, for each 3 hour, for 12 and a half hour, 12 and a half miles up, 12 and a half miles back. And I just happened to have a real good last 25 miles, my fastest lap, and broke 24. So that was a big deal. So
That's awesome.
pretty good. Yeah,
What's
I had some
um
help on those. I had some help on those too. Bob Vance helped me on 75 to 50, and Dwayne Vanderpool helped me on the 75 home to 100. So, and I needed it. I needed it because it's so dark out there, and it's scary, you know. And you get out there and you get so tired, man. You're slapping your face and you're worried about hitting trees, and it's awful. It's really cool, you know. So go ahead.
so what's been your favorite accomplishment?
Well, you know, uh, recently it was the Vol State, running across Vol State. That's really a challenge. You can do it crude or screwed, and like I said, I did it screwed. And being the first time I did it, I didn't know just how to do it. So my backpack was so heavy, you know. And then you put water bottles on there, and it's even heavier, you know. And eventually you just start dropping weight. You just say, you know, you don't need this, you don't need that. You know, there's a Dollar General store up there. I'll buy a pair of socks or I'll buy a different shirt. You know, there was a lot of heat involved. It was so hot. We would like I met up with a guy and we would when we'd stay at a hotel once in a while. You wouldn't even take a shower. You were so wet. You were so sweating, and just let me go to bed. You know, you strip down, go to bed, get up, shirt on, and take off. And you know, it was neat. It was neat because you're on your own. You know, you really don't have a lot. Yeah, you got a lot to think about, but you just kind of listen to that pitter patter of your feet. You know, these are the shoes I wore. I don't know if you can see them, but Anyway, the soles were, and I wear them I cut the toes out, and I wear them for the 6 days too, so my toes don't rub.
Geez.
So it works out pretty good that way. It saves on the blisters. But I think the Vol State was probably, it was a big deal. The 100 mile, or actually the 100 mile with the 24, that was a big deal. That was a big deal. Boston, that's always a big deal. Um, it just, man, I tell you, 529 miles in 10 days. That was a big deal. So, I mean, when I do it, it's once it sinks in, it's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just,
So how old were you when you were running Boston?
how old was I?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, 40s, I guess. My last one was 2 years ago. I ran that, was that 22? Yeah, 2022. And I think my first one was like 2001.
Okay.
So, I don't know. There was a span there where I was gonna try to run 10 years in a row, and I thought, nah, okay. So I went there and ran like 3 or 4 in a row, and then I took the time off, and I qualified again. And actually, my birthday in March falls at a good time because I can actually go for the following year. So I can qualify anytime after October. You can use it for 2 years, and that kind of worked out pretty good sometimes. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's
Anyway, uh, Lori said something about me hallucinating.
Yeah, so that was one of my
Yeah,
questions.
yeah.
So, did you really see a submarine?
Yeah, I still do. I still see it just as plain as day. And I tell you what, that was a bad trip. That ride. That was Beaster Burden, and that was bad. It was dark, lonely. Boy, it sounds like a joke, doesn't it? And I was by myself. Never mind. But anyway, that's a bad joke if you know what I'm talking about. I don't know that. So anyway, I got by myself, got alone, dark, and I got tired, man. You need a Klingon. You need somebody up there to follow you. So you can follow just so you can pace off of them, and somebody's up there, or somebody behind you, and you're thinking, oh, maybe they're going to catch me, or what. There's always that hope that you'll meet somebody. And I was out there by myself and no man's land, and sure enough, it was ugly. And I was walking along, and it was right there on the left-hand side, and they had the pipes running across, and the hose was coming down right in the submarine. There was two guys there waving, and I just walked on by, and I got up to the aid station, and I walked in the aid station. I said, "Do you know what I just saw?" And I was talking to a girl. I said, "I just saw two Russians filling up a submarine. Can you believe that?" And she looked at me and she says, "You know, you need to stop. You need to take a break." And I just said, "Yeah, maybe I do." So I just dropped right there on the ground, about 10 feet from her, and I laid right down for 15 minutes and got back up and took off again. But man, I was afraid if I laid down there out there on the road, nobody's gonna wake me up. They're just gonna keep walking me. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know. It's pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I mean, there's been other races where you've been in the woods. I struck a viaduct and it's so dark, and you see a headlight coming. I mean, there might be only like 15, 20 people in this race, and then once the 50 miles get done, now you're down to about 7 in a 100-mile race, and you see a headlight coming, and you're like, all right, here comes somebody. Well, you just walk by them. You say hi and you walk by, and that's it. The thrill is gone, and you keep going, they keep going. But the spark is there because you see somebody. It's like it's pretty cool, pretty cool. Yeah.
That's wild.
So
Yeah.
Gary, what do you eat before you go out and do these?
Yeah, you got me on that, and you got me on the training. I I eat whatever I usually eat. Okay.
Okay.
We did Pikes Peak Marathon. The night before that, we ate at Wendy's. You know what I mean? Just I'm used to eating a cheeseburger, French fries, and a Coke.
Okay.
Sometimes ice cream afterwards. I really don't change my diet at all. No, it's after the race. I hog out on McDonald's and try to get French fries, hamburger, milkshake. I try to get it all. But no, I don't eat anything really different. Uh, no pickle juice or nothing like that. I used to drink a lot of Yoo-Hoo way back when, so that was always
Yeah.
pretty good. Back to my training. My training, I don't think I ever ran over a 40-mile week in a training
Okay.
week. But
Even for the marathon?
yeah, even did the marathons. No, I never did over 40. I did 40 one time. I got hurt, and I said I'm not doing that again. So no, never over. I do a long run. I would do it like an 18 or something like that. But we started running along. A friend of mine, dear friend Bob Lance, and we started doing these long runs, and we ended up putting in a lot of miles that way. But we really didn't change the diet. It just stayed the same. I don't know.
So this means that I could run 40 miles and then run a marathon and still run and qualify for Boston. I like where this is going.
Oh, you could do it in less than 40.
Even better.
Yeah, I did.
We should have had you on months ago.
Yeah,
I've been sweating it out for months.
Did he? Yeah, and I don't wear a watch.
Even better.
Yeah. No, once you figure out the pacing in a marathon, that made a difference for me. You know what I mean? The one pace I did was down in Steamtown, and I got behind the pace. My first couple miles in Steamtown are really slow, and then I get into my natural rhythm, probably mile 3, 4, 5, and then I'm just about there the whole time, and I caught up to this pacer, and I think I needed like a 4:05 to qualify. But you're thinking 4:05, that ain't nothing. But when you're my age, so anyway, I caught this guy, and we were running. I don't know if you guys ran Steamtown, but we were running. Okay, we were running. We were getting to a section where there's a hill, and all of a sudden, this guy he started speeding up on the straight stretch, and all of a sudden, everybody slowed down. They said, "Hey, you're speeding up. You're speeding up." He says, "Well, I want to get you some time in the bank because we're going to hit this hill," which made sense. So anyway, instead of 5 or 6 of us, there was 2 of us, me and him and another guy, 3 of us actually. And so we just stayed right there, and we just went up the hill together, which was great. And of course, you go down a long hill; it's like 2 more miles to finish. And I ended up running a pretty good last couple of miles, and got done. I think I ran a 3:50, 3:54. I don't know what it was, but anyway. And I needed like a 4:05. So I thanked this guy. I said, "Man, you were like dead in that zone all the way through." And I just took off the last few miles, and I just thanked him for getting me there, because he did. I didn't have to do any thinking. I just had to run. How hard's that?
I'm hoping for that when I run it. Wolfman will just do that for me. Just tell me, just run a little faster, slow down, eat this.
Yeah. Well, I naturally slow down, but now what about your 5K times and 10K times? Are they quite fast then, or what?
Mine or his?
Both.
Our 5K actually is like our equal playing ground. We both ran like a 16, like low 16:20s. So we're both about the same for that. And I never ran a 10K. Haven't done that yet.
And I don't remember.
So your longest run is a 5K?
For racing, longest run was a 5 miler.
A 5 mile. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 5 miles for longest race. Longest run was probably about 12 or so.
Okay.
But we would get crushed with the mileage back in college. They would put us into so much mileage every day and so many speed workouts. The speed workouts didn't bother me, but the mileage every day.
Okay.
So that's my dread right now, is like jumping up after not running as much for years, and then all of a sudden doing like 100-mile weeks doesn't look too pretty. Well, but if I could do it in 40,
you could. I think 100 is going to beat you up, and you're not going to be as good. I think you're better off.
I mean, I think it depends on what you want to do, but I've always felt if you can do at least 40 miles in a week, you're fit enough to run a marathon. You're not going to win it, but you can.
I don't want to win it.
Yeah. Well, shoot, I've
You know how
done a
bad it's
lot
gonna
less.
feel?
I don't I haven't run 40 miles in a week. Now here's the thing. I could go out and walk 50 miles tomorrow, but I can't run 40 miles in a week. See what I'm saying? It's different. I can't do that. And the thing of it is consistency makes the difference. You know what I mean? I mean, I think that's the key, consistency. So, and I have a bad consistency on training, but but I really do. I think if you just went out and you did, like maybe every other day, 3 and 2, like run 3, take a day off, run 2, take a day off, run 2. I used to do that, but they were
that I could do.
They're only 5 miles at a shot, 6 miles at a shot,
Yeah, that I could do. I could run every other day for sure.
Well, I think 100 miles a week, man, that's a lot of miles, man.
Yeah, because I'll run it too fast too. I won't take it easy.
Yeah, that's kind of tough to do, even on an easy day, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think for Disney, I peaked at. I think my goal was to peak at 75, and I think I peaked at about 65, 70 because of getting sick and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
you don't have to run 100-mile weeks to run a marathon.
Oh no, okay. You don't. Yeah, I'll put it for that.
So I'm looking at it all wrong then.
You are.
I can do it a little less than, I don't know, even for the hundreds. I only did that 40-mile week that one time. That was it. And I said, I can't do that again. It sounds funny, but I said, no, my knees are hurting. And that was a long, long time ago when I did that. And and you know what it was? I started marking on the calendar how many miles I was running. And I just wanted to beat the week before. And then, you know what? I said, that's not going to work. So then I just put checks when I ran. I said, nah, that's enough of that. Because there wasn't that many checks on there. Because it was like every other day. And then it was just like, I just write down when I run a long run. And then that's what I ended up doing. So, but I just kind of got out of that, trying to build my mileage up, So.
Yeah. You were Strava before Strava. You were
I was in
yourself by comparison.
I was in a race one time up to New York. It's called the Green Lakes, and it was 100K, and it was around this body of water, and it was 62 miles. And I said, well, okay, I'm going to see how close I can run even splits. The race started, and I started walking my 5 minutes, and then I started running 10 minutes and walking 10. And it was close to an 8-mile loop. And by the time I got to like the sixth lap, these guys were standing out there, and they're looking at their watch. And I'm thinking, oh, that's kind of weird. Anyway, the next lap, they're looking at their watch. Anyway, I ended up, the final lap, I stopped, and it was raining. I changed my socks and my shoes and took off. And I finished the race, excuse me. And my whole lap difference was 1 minute and 28 seconds out of the whole 8 laps. That's all it was, from running the 5 and the 10. And it worked out good. I just got in a rhythm, and every spot I knew when I had to run, I knew when I had to walk, and it worked out good. So it was pretty even splits.
Find us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe and hit all the little notifications so that you know when we release some great stuff. And we'll continue with Gary at a later date and hear some of those great stories again.